JawsJr here for an Obsidian adventure. We are looking at two completely separate batches that I'm currently working. So we'll focus in on the top part right here. This is a bunch of random obsidian from Glass Butte, Davis Creek, Burns, and I believe there's one other source in there. And this is finished with medium grit, ready to move on. This is out of the same batch, finished with medium grit, and it needs handwork. There's a lot here for me because I ran it for 2 extra days, and you can see some of the damage. And I don't want to hear that, oh, you should run it with medium. I don't run my medium grit or coarse grit with medium. Never have, never will. So, got some handwork. It's not too bad. Some of the sharper edges like that. But that's okay. It is all a learning experience. I don't know what that's doing in there. So, oh, I know why that was in there. It was sitting up in here. It's a piece with a little bit of fire in it. And I had it set aside because it has a little bit of fire in it. That's why. Makes sense now. Okay. Back to this. So, I will do some handwork on these to get these bad spots worked out. Yeah, there's probably only 20 minutes worth of work here, so I'm not too worried about it. It will happen. Then these will get combined and go into my pre-polish. Now, the Snowflake Obsidian. This is out of one batch. This here is at coarse grit is completed. And I only rolled coarse grit 1 time, which is quite unusual for me. I typically run coarse grit twice in Obsidian. Never ran this much Snowflake before. So I'm learning as we're going. But with this Snowflake, this is 3 pounds, 5.5 ounces. I don't need to do a thing to it. It's ready to move on to medium grit. This is 4 pounds, 9.8 ounces. I need to do some handwork on these. And you realize that's not too bad for coming out of coarse grit. This batch here, coming out of coarse grit, getting ready, was roughly about 80% of the pieces needed handwork. So, you know, I think I'm doing pretty good with this stuff. Anyway, handwork, ready to move on to pre-polish without doing anything, ready to move on to medium grit without doing anything. Yep. Just out here on a very wet and rainy day, working Obsidian. Thanks for watching, everybody.